Hello and welcome to the second episode of VIP TV on vipregnancy.com. Now today we are catching up with a busy mum-to-be. She's the queen of showbiz reporting and she's probably interviewed nearly every A-list celebrity that you can think of. Today I'm joined by the gorgeous and the glowing Sam Mann. Firstly, congratulations on your pregnancy. You look glowing.
Yes.
How many months pregnant are you?
I'll be 6 months next week.
Well, congratulations. That's kind of halfway, a bit more than halfway through
Yeah,
already.
exactly. It's flown by, I have to say. And this, as you said, is a nice period. You know, I do feel like I'm glowing. You know, I thought, when's this glow going to come? For like 3 months I felt sick, or I was being sick, or I wasn't sleeping properly. And it's just so nice just to feel...
We're in the nice period.
Back to me, and a bit extra as well.
And was it a massive shock when you found out you were pregnant?
Yes, it was. It was. We weren't planning it. I think because of what I do, I think there would never have been a right time. I think it's really hard if you work in London, in the media industry. There's never going to be a time when you go out, this is perfect, you know, I can take the next so many years off or whatever.
As you mentioned, you said you had some morning sickness. How did you cope with all of that?
Morning sickness was really horrible. I was lucky that I was only physically sick about 3 times, if I remember rightly. And I'm never sick. Even if I'm ill, I'm hardly ever sick. You can't, you know, count it on one hand how many times in my whole life. But that was a real shock because I was just like, oh, this is horrible. I'd kind of eat quite late, so then I'd know that I could, if I went to bed and got to sleep straight away, I'd probably get away with it. But if I lay there for like half an hour trying to get sleep, then the sickness would come, and I'd have to carry nuts and seeds and all sorts of things in my bag, and it's horrible because I mean I found out at 9 months. 9 weeks that I was pregnant, not 9 months, because I'd be pregnant. I'd be having
the baby by now.
I found at 9 weeks that I was pregnant, and so I couldn't really tell anyone. I didn't want to tell anyone for like the next kind of 3 or 4 weeks. So it's really hard because you're at work and you're like, I feel really sick, but you don't want to tell anyone. Or running to the loo every 5 minutes and stuff.
So what are you most looking forward to about being a first-time mummy? Oh, yummy mummy.
Don't worry, you know, if you don't get that overwhelming feeling of love straight away, because I mean, you know, you kind of people say, oh, it's amazing when you first get them in your arms, but I know people that have gone, oh, who are you? Oh gosh, this is really weird. So I'm prepared either way, but I think eventually you do get it, obviously, and I know that I will get it at some point, so I can't wait for that feeling, that real high, that will be absolutely amazing. And then I don't know, I mean, it'd be really nice to kind of see, like, you know, whose eyes have you got, and, you know, whose hair have you got, and just kind of, and then also just to see Adam with the little one as well. I think, you know, a lot of people say to me, when you see your partner with, you know, the baby, you're going to really fall in love with him even more and stuff, so that'd be really, really nice to see him do that.
Is there anything you're dreading about parenthood?
No, I mean, the only thing is, I think, is the kind of stress. You can't turn your back for a second, can you? Even with a newborn, you just got to just... I think I'm going to be like there of a night time, peering, going, you know, just...
Is he still breathing?
Yeah, exactly, and just kind of just watching, and I think I'm going to be a little bit paranoid at first. But I don't think there is anything, I mean, only just when they get to like, you know, teenagers or school years and they're running off and doing whatever. Obviously, the baby side of things is lovely, and then when they go off and do things, I'll be like, oh no.
Did you ever feel any pressure from your parents, for example, or anyone to have children earlier in your life?
They would have loved me to have kids. Earlier, but I think that for them it was more about finding the right person and being happy, and then they knew, I think they knew eventually it would come. I mean, I've been with Adam for 5 years now, we've got a place, everything's really kind of settled, work-wise is great for us both, and so I think it's a perfect timing actually now, even though we wouldn't have thought that before we got pregnant. It's really weird. Now,
you're a very busy showbiz reporter. How do you think you're going to juggle working and working at home and juggling your home life and just looking after the household in general? I
don't know. No. You know what? I think I've got a really good life for fitting into having a baby, because actually all the shows that I'm on at the moment have really embraced the fact that I'm pregnant, and Angela and Friends on Sky have made a whole feature around the baby, called it Bump to Baby, which is so lovely. So I get to show my scans on TV and stuff. It's really nice, and tell everyone about my kind of experiences so far.
Do you think women can really have it all?
Some women feel compelled to do, or they feel actually obliged to do. You know, also I think childcare as well costs a fortune. So actually, if you're not earning as much as you're paying someone to look after your child, then it doesn't make sense to go out to work. So it's a difficult situation. I think women who have got a career and worked really hard to get their career off the ground, and then they get to this position of, okay, do I give up, or do I pay someone else to look after my child, or do I go part-time? And it's really, really tricky, and it's always going to be around.
Yeah.
Is always going to be around, but I think things have become a little bit easier for women now.
Now, do you think there's still a taboo of women who are pregnant being on TV? For example, one of your closest friends, Denise Van Outen, she had a whole issue with that, didn't she?
There's kind of a lot of news reports around that. And Denise was pregnant. She was so fit and healthy and looked amazing. And so in her mind, she said, I could do the show. For me, it's been amazing. People have really embraced it and actually said, no, you can continue coming on. And I've got more work from it, I'd say. And even like Sarah Cox as well, another one, Radio 1 DJ, she was working. I know I worked on a show with her right up until she kind of gave birth. It was like 2 weeks before she was due to give birth. So I think that, I think there's lots of people and lots of shows that actually will take pregnant women, and they're silly not to. It's not an illness.
One of your closest friends, Denise Van Outen, is pregnant. Well, she's not pregnant anymore. She's actually had the baby, so congratulations to her. Has she been giving you any good pregnancy advice?
Oh, she's been absolutely amazing. Just things like, I was lying flat on the bed one day and I coughed, and so obviously, and I managed to kind of stretch something down the bottom of my tummy, and I was like, oh, I'm at a little twinge, and I was like, oh my God, what have I done? And so I phoned her and I said, I had this twinge, and she was like, oh, I've been to the doctors for that. So it's so amazing if you have friends and family around you that have been pregnant, and actually for her, for having her around, because she's only just given birth, it's so fresh in her mind, all the problems and the worries and the this, that and the other, that actually
I'm pass that all on to you now.
She has been amazing, although she didn't have the sickness,